There are signals all around us. Most of them go unnoticed. Some are born able to sense them, born with the veil still present, a mark set to thin the boundary between worlds. For a white witch, the boundary never fully closes. It becomes something you can see through, something you can feel. Respond not to fear the unknown, but to understand it, to listen when it reaches back beyond the veil with Tracey Jones.
I did it. All right, I got this stuff now. Hello, I'm Tracey Jones, the host of Beyond the Veil, and I do apologize for last week, but apparently my technical difficulties was me deleting everything in the studio. So I've had a couple of lessons since then, so we'll see what I do tonight. Before I bring out Mike and Ty from Spirit Xperience, two of the best people I know in this world, and in my opinion, it's the only tour group to go down and look for ghosts in Savannah. A couple of things. One, if you have a question about the paranormal that you don't feel comfortable asking somebody else or relative or let alone coworker, ask me. Go on to my page, which is just my name, Tracey Lynn. Make sure you spell it right. Ask me in the message section. I'll get back to you. There is, and don't take this as a challenge, but there's hardly anything I haven't heard. And I don't believe in anything as a stupid question. If you don't know, you don't know. So you can also send me, if it's a little more detailed, send me a message through my Gmail, which is Beyond the Veil with Tracey Jones at gmail.com. And one other little thing before we get started here, I have some exciting news. That's my book. I actually did it. I got my bucket list done, and that's my book. It's called Witchcraft by Blood and Tradition, Beginner's Guide. And it is about me and my great grandmother and like the do's and the don'ts. And it's a very laid back book, even if you aren't into witchcraft. It's a lot of natural healing and all that. So there's that. And then I also have to recommend to you Legends, Myths, and Monsters, North American edition. This is from Mr. George Lunsford, who we like to call America's #1 author, although I hope I give him a run for his money. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's from state to state and from little section to section. Good read. I couldn't put it down the first night. And then, last but certainly not least, Echoes in the Hollow. This is Michael Webb. This is his restream that he's tutoring me on. And if you want to know about his real life experiences, that's the place to go, because the stories this man has and his daughter, they go out Sasquatching and hunting and all that stuff together. I say, give me a dead person. I'm much happier with that. So with that being said, let's see if I can stay on a roll. Oh, almost. I forgot to put this out. I did that on purpose. So there's that. Now I'm at these two. There you go. Okay.
Hey.
Thank you so much for your patience and your understanding about last week. I'm just glad to have you on this week. I know all about you, but for those that don't, please introduce yourselves and tell us about your tour company and everything.
My name is Mike. This is my wife, Ty. We're Spirit Xperience, LLC. We're an interactive paranormal walking ghost tour in Savannah, Georgia. We're a fairly newer company, but we're not new to doing these tours. We've been doing them in Savannah for over 5 years now. And we work for some other companies. We're not saying they were doing anything wrong. They just did some things that didn't quite go with our style. Things like they'd have a tour at 8 o'clock and then one at 10 o'clock. So we had to hurry everybody through the 8 o'clock tour to make the 10 o'clock tour. And we didn't care for that. Another thing they do is have up to 30 people on their tour. That's too many people on a tour. We limit ours to just 15 guests. And we do that because, one, we like to get to know our guests. We like to make friends with our guests on our tours. When we leave, we hopefully made new friends. And we like to do like mini paranormal investigations. And we do have to say mini paranormal investigations because, as we know, a true paranormal investigation, you could spend an hour in just one location. Of course, that's not conducive to a walking tour. So we do just little short investigations at many of our locations. And, you can't guarantee activity, but we've gotten some interesting activity on every tour we've ever done. We really have.
Okay. Speaking of which, Miss Ty, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk about you. I forgot to let you talk about you.
No, I don't need to talk about me.
You do.
Okay. Go ahead. See, I know I'm done with you, Miss Ty. So we're going to go right over here. And talk about this. What is this all about?
Well, what I want everyone to notice is when it stops blinking, if you watch it very closely, it actually moves a little bit.
He's talking about the
cat ball. When the cat ball stops blinking, if you watch it, it'll actually move just a touch. See it move just a little bit. And to me, that's very interesting. It's cool enough for a cat ball to go off. I'm one of those guys, whenever a cat ball goes off, I'm yelling, "Hey, cat ball."
Is that the SB home?
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that was at the Old Candler Hospital.
It's
Old Candler Hospital.
And now we have this.
Now this is the old Clay County Jail near St. Augustine, Florida. We're actually on a paranormal investigation with our paranormal team we're a member of, Savannah Paranormal Society. And right here, what we're doing is this right here, the only way for it to go off is for something to physically touch it. And this is the only time in any investigation it has ever worked. And it's not one of those that has like anything around it where you get close. You literally have to touch it in order for that to go off. And so
I like those a lot better than just getting near it because you wonder for like a breeze or something.
Right. And with this thing
and touches it, could it do something?
Yeah, there's just no chance of anything like that with this. Something literally has to touch it to set it off. Yeah. And so that was very impressive to me. I thought that was super.
And to round it off, they sent me a third.
Solomon, you,
baby.
Thank you.
This is over in Taylor Square.
Good job.
And there's a couple of spirits over there. One of them is Samuel, and he's a young kid. And we were trying to get him to get used to us being there. And he came out and played in the grass. And we put the cat ball down, and he actually moved the cat ball and was playing with it. So it was pretty cool because it's harder to move a cat ball in grass than it is anywhere else. So
and it could be vibrations or anything because we're talking about the ground, and you can see how far we are away from it. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm hitting buttons and I'm doing it.
And look at you putting the videos there that you got this down.
I tell you what, I'm all full of myself now. Anyway, so tell me some of the interesting things that's occurred on some of your tours that even surprised you.
Well, just this past Saturday, we had a young girl on our tour, 5 years old.
Oh, she was so adorable.
And there's one of the stops we go to at the SB house. Mm-hmm. And there's a young girl there.
Spirit girl.
Spirit girl. How old is she? She's...
Catherine is 6.
6. We call her Katie. And this young girl was sitting there.
She's 5.
You want to grab me a pair of rods right there? Hang on. We'll actually get things to demonstrate.
And the young guest that was with us, she was 5 years old. Oh, she is.
Yeah, she's 5 years old. So she had our rods. And of course, she's 5. So she's not really holding them properly. That was meant to.
I know.
Yeah, but she had them down like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have them down like that, it's impossible. I mean, if they cross, they're just immediately going to come uncrossed. And she said, and so this little girl sat there. She said, Katie, would you cross my rods? And they crossed and held. And then she said, Katie, can I have a hug? And what we call a hug is when they go back and touch your shoulders, they opened up and went like that. And I don't mean slowly. I mean as fast as I just showed you. And to me, it is, we get interaction with the rods all the time. But the fact that she was holding them down, I mean, really, if they cross, they'll immediately become uncrossed again. And to go up that way, well, that's near impossible. For them to go and stay,
to me,
that was
5 years old. She's not looking for some attention like that.
No.
And how would she know?
Right.
Wow.
And we asked the rods that we asked her to point to her mom and dad with the rods, and she
And it pointed towards her
did,
parents.
yeah.
And then after that, we had other people coming up trying. And so Ty let her stand up there, and since she was interacting with Katie so well, she was talking
Okay.
to Katie, asking for our other guests, and I mean, getting immediate responses.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
do you
so,
think
it
she
was
had
awesome.
gifts or anything, or she was just young and open and
She's
Well,
young and open.
young and open, and you know, and Katie
And
there
curious.
about the
She's
same age, and so I
okay?
think they made a connection right there.
Yeah,
And
that makes
to me,
sense.
that was you know, everything we do. Yeah, well, the thing is, I see it almost every night, so it
Sure.
gets to be commonplace. You know, I'm seeing the roster, the guests are freaking out, and I'm going, yeah, that's what they do. You know, it's every day, but to see that happen, that really
Mm.
blew me away.
And speaking about Katie, our she loves dancing. The spirit of her
Oh,
loves dancing, and we got a guest actually took a
I
picture,
think you have that picture.
and we got a beautiful
Did you get
picture
any
of her.
photographs?
I got the 3 videos.
Oh,
Okay.
here. Are you able to accept one right now, or that you know with or?
You know, you're really pushing, aren't you? Look, I haven't like
You
deleted
show it,
anything.
baby. You can post
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I can just pull it up and show you. How about
Hold it.
that? I can just show it on
Yeah,
camera
hold it
here.
up to the thing. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
let's do
trust
that.
myself downloading something right now.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
And
I
if
need
Michael's
that
watching, he's probably going, "Oh God, no, don't."
one.
That's
But
advanced
here we
stuff.
go. Well, now I got you playing in the background there, but let's see. Well, we're going to be on the screen too, but you can see right there.
Okay. Oh,
You see, it
yeah.
looks like a light coming off her forehead. We think that's our little Katie, and that's the
Oh,
location we're at.
wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's an excellent catch.
Yes, and she showed up not just once.
But we had another guest almost duplicate the same exact
Exactly,
photograph
yeah.
months later.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Do you know the story behind her or why she passed?
The story is actually she passed away due to, unfortunately, her parents passed away, and her mother passed away with giving her birth. Her father passed away in an accident, and she really adored her grandparents. She really loved her grandparents, but because of everything that happened to them, they started not liking each other, and they started arguing more and more and drinking, and it got
Oh,
physical. And one night it got physical, and they didn't notice Catherine was there, and she hit her underneath the coffee table, and the grandmother got pushed into the coffee table,
mhm.
and they went to bed not knowing anything because they were in a drunken stupor. Next morning, as the staff came home to prepare for the day, when they went to pick up the coffee table with the gardener's help, Catherine was underneath it. She had perished.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's a sweet little thing.
she
Yeah.
She's
is.
adorable.
And she's there with her
So many-
father, Wesley. And
Yeah.
Yes.
A
And
lot of people just assume that if you die tragically, you're going to be a jerk, you know,
no,
or
no.
something like that. Not necessarily. I mean, yeah,
no.
there are some out there, but how you were in life is generally how you're going to be in the afterlife.
Exactly. You're a butthead
Yeah.
in life, you're going to be a butthead in the afterlife,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
definitely. Definitely.
Have you had
That
any
is
that
so
kind
true.
of spooked you a little bit?
Not on our tours, but the
Okay.
tour, the spirits we communicate with, we've grown this relationship with them over the last 5 years of dealing
Mhm.
with them, and so we're very comfortable with them, and thankfully they're comfortable with us, obviously, to interact with us the way they do.
But if we don't go see them, they do kind of
Yeah.
get a little upset with us for a little bit. They do
Okay.
show that. Where were you guys?
But as far as that, no. But now, you know, private investigations and whatnot, we've ran into things in our own personal story. We, you know, ran into some very negative things. But
And right now
Yeah.
we're actually looking at opening another area to do a tour
Okay.
at. But again, you know, probably like I do, working with the spirits, first 3 months can be really lovely and nice, and they could be, it's like dating, they could be everything you thought they should be, and then they start
Right.
showing their true colors. They
Mhm.
start getting a little bit attitude or a little rough and tough. It's like, okay. So we're at that stage right now. It's like,
Okay.
we're working on boundaries and
now,
respect.
now we do have on both our tours. One at the Colonial Park Cemetery. There's a lot of soldiers who passed away there. They're not very good on boundaries with women. And then also we have at the Old Candler Hospital where we showed the cat ball. Also there we have a gentleman named Ben. He passed away when he was younger, and he tends to like to be flirty. And so we're working on them with that. So I mean, they're not doing grabbing or anything like that.
No.
They just prefer the ladies when they come up, and
Yeah.
they really make a focus towards them, but nothing really negative.
Now we got a Felicia also at the hospital.
Yes.
She's in her 30s. Well, when she passed away, she was physically in her 30s, but she was in an insane asylum. So her mental state is around 12-ish.
Okay.
So we have little kids there too, little kid spirits, and Felicia loves the center of attention. She loves being there and using the rods and giving hugs if people want hugs, and she likes to touch hair, which she's getting really good at not touching anybody's hair. But she gets
Okay.
really, really jealous when we ask the kids to come out. She wants to be the attention. She gets really upset. She gets really jealous with the kids, and when I correct her, she gets really sad.
Oh,
Well, we're talking about those spirits, talking about Ben and him being the way he is. One night, because if we have a fairly large group, I'll take some people off to the side with Ben, and Ty will take Felicia. And there were some young ladies there. I think it was a bachelorette party.
Yes, it was.
And Ben really wasn't interacting. And one of the young ladies said, "Come on, Ben, you can do it, just the tip." And they flew together. And then we realized, oh, Ben likes dirty jokes. And so I said, and if the girl's kind of flirty towards him, Ben will big time start interacting with him. So
Okay.
yeah.
And we've had some pretty blessed moments. We also had another bachelorette party, and we were at one of our last stops, and Mike pulled out the ghost
The
spirit box.
Mhm.
And we taught them how to use it, how we use it. We just simply announce who we are and ask for the spirit. They could say our name, and then they could start telling us who they are. And she was talking about her father all night, like sharing that he wasn't going to be there. He had passed away. She really wished her dad could walk her down the aisle. And then she got that spirit box, and he came through. She spent a whole 20-minute conversation, her and her bridesmaids and him, and there was tears of joy and laughter. And I mean,
Yeah, and I tell you, I'm not a big fan of the spirit box myself.
Okay.
You know the spirit box that
Yeah.
transfer
Yes.
rating. It's just it's okay, but a lot of time I think a lot of it is probably audio pareidolia, or people just wanting to make what they want out of the situation. But in this situation, I mean, it was just undeniable.
Clear.
Clear. It was really emotional.
How do you all deal with people who think that you're toying with dark stuff and dark magic, and there are no such thing as ghosts, they're all demons? How do you deal with people like that?
Okay, I am a former pastor, and I used to think that all paranormal activity was either angelic or demonic in nature. I didn't believe there were ghosts, human spirits, right? I did. But then I met this beautiful lady, and now I've had to come to terms that, yes, there are spirits around us. And being around Ty, I realized they're around us all the time. And so I kind of had to come to terms with this somehow. And the best I've came up with, to this point, I'm not saying it's great, but it works for me right now, is that in the Bible, Jesus teaches that you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven until you let go of this world. And so now I think that's not only applies to physical form, but also in spiritual form. I mean, the Buddhists would speak of and say attachments, and so what
That's
we come
different.
right.
Yeah,
But what I've kind of ran into is that what I've come to realize is okay, Jim Williams at the William Mercer house, he's connected to that house. He won't let go of that house. And I found when it comes to children, if a child is usually connected to a parental figure, Katie's there with Wesley, and they're there together at that location.
Okay.
We have another little girl, Elizabeth, Lizzie. She's there with her grandfather and mother, and they're there at that location together. And so with that, what I've came up with is from doing other investigations and a lot of studying is, a lot of people say, oh, it's a child spirit, it's probably a demon. You probably heard that, right? Yeah.
Oh,
But my best thinking right now is that if a child spirit is there with a parental figure, it's probably just a child. But if the child's there without a parental figure, well, that might be something you want to be a little more cautious with.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. At least to the best of my experience, that's what I've come up with. So when I'm dealing with people,
demons will appear as and have themselves looking like a little kid, because who doesn't trust a little kid?
Right.
But you're absolutely right. Normally there's a story behind it. I mean, if there's no story behind it, but you're in an insane asylum and there's a little girl, well, chances are it ain't a little girl.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Unless you know the
Exactly.
history of and this, that, and the other. But it cracks me up when people think that everything that, like I do and like you do, and it's all demonic. It's all
Yeah.
demons. There is no such thing. It's either this or that. And, I respect it. I respect that. I have my beliefs and they have theirs. But I
Sure.
also think that when you cross there, really time is kind of, it's irrelevant. Because
Yeah.
people will ask me or have asked me, well, why are they here for hundreds and hundreds of years? And I said, well, I believe when you cross that time is just infinity over there, and decades and centuries can pass over here, and it all feels the same to them.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
just my thought.
Makes sense. And that would explain why the children continue to act like children, even though it's been 100 years that has
Yeah.
passed. So it's like
Yeah.
they would act like
For them, it
100-year-old,
was
but they
yesterday.
don't. Right.
Yeah.
Right. They act like it just happened. So
Yeah,
I
we
like that.
there's a gentleman over in England, his name is Stephen Griffiths. He brought up a wonderful point. He said, when people get these EVPs of demon, it's a demon, 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 demon. He said, think about this. You're going into maybe something now, England, that's medieval and all of that. But even like here in the States, if you're going into something from the Revolutionary War time or the Civil War time or, something like that, pre-industrial,
Mm-hmm.
and they see you coming in with all this rigmarole. They don't know what you are. So he said, his thought is that they're saying demon and they're talking about you.
Uh-huh.
And I said,
Right.
I
That's
never
interesting.
thought about that. But I guess, it makes sense because stuff in the Middle Ages that we have now, like this
Mhm.
laptop, they would think that that's some kind of magic.
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And here we are out there with our phones and everything recording and whatnot. I mean,
mhm.
they have to think that's pretty strange, right?
Sure,
That,
you
yeah.
would think.
But I'm
Okay.
sorry, I don't know if I answered the thing with the people with the demon. But basically, what we overall do is on our tours, Ty starts by opening up the session, and so we do that.
We
And
explained to everybody what a spirit actually is.
yes, just us in another form, and we try to handle everything with love and respect, not only for our guests but for the spirits on the other side. And we've learned that some people have come on with a negative connotation in the beginning, and towards the end of the tour they've kind of come around a little bit because we're showing them we're doing this with love and respect. We're not out
Right.
here trying, and they see what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish, and a lot of them do come around. Now, do we turn everybody around? No, of course not, because it's
Right.
like we're not going to make a skeptic a believer, even though we have. But well,
Yeah.
we have it. The evidence have shown
Yeah.
that. But so that does happen. But all in all, somebody's firm in that belief. To be honest, we wonder why they came on our tour. It's like, did you read the
I think some
description?
people just, it feels fulfilling, in my theory, it feels fulfilling to them to just doubt and down other things to make
Mhm.
them feel big and puffy, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if
I went, go ahead.
no, you go. You're
Please.
in the middle of a thought.
I went down to this place in Laurel, Maryland. It's a renovated movie theater called Laurel's House of Horrors, and the stuff that's in there is they've got all the critters in there, and
Mhm.
like a lot of the stuff is original antiques from insane asylums, hospitals, just all kinds of old antiques, and you have to be careful with antiques. But
Yeah.
this place is next level, and I went walking through with a podcaster named Jake the Ghost Hunter and a friend of his, and I just did my thing. I not paid for it, didn't want any money, didn't care about
Right.
that. I just thought it was fun. I like going down there. Well, it was like a 50-50. Some people believe me, and other people, oh, no, she's just making that up. You come down. You
Yeah.
walk through.
Exactly.
Right.
Well,
And,
talking about skeptics, back this past summer, I had a fellow on our tour that he said it was all hogwash. He didn't believe in any of it, But what would you, when in those situations, they tell me that, I go, that's fine. I let them know, a good paranormal investigator, first and foremost, is a skeptic.
Right.
Do away with anything logically. What may be left over just may be paranormal. But overall, on our tour, we want you to have a good time. So we try to stress that with these folks who came on like this. But this fella, he went on our tour, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, he sent me a text and said, "Look what I found." And I want you to notice that goes in front of that branch there. So that's just not something in the sky.
So it was nothing we saw with our naked
Yeah.
eye. You got that.
So I think it seems like
What
it may
is
be
it?
something angelic. See how it goes in
Yeah,
front of
okay,
that
yeah,
bridge?
that's what I was thinking.
But
Wow.
that was the complete skeptic that caught that on our tour.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he said, look what I caught. I love it when the complete skeptics find stuff like this. So
Yeah.
Oh.
it's
He likes to say, I like to think that we opened up people's eyes to
Yeah.
to the spirit world,
Yes.
and we made it. I don't want people walking around the spirit world is demonic and evil, like they show you on all these podcasts. Not podcasts, but on ghost shows
All the
and even
TV
some
shows.
podcasts and all that
Yes.
stuff. I don't want people thinking that is what the next chapter is in our life
Yeah.
form. You know,
Yeah.
I don't. So I try and just let them know that the spirit world is beautiful. It's
Mhm.
you know, the spirits are no different, like we talked about, no different than we are. If we're having
Right.
a good day, we'll be friendly and loving. If we're having a day that we just don't like anybody today, we're not going to talk to anybody. And if you bring an attitude to the spirit world, if you talk to them hatefully or negatively, you know,
You
they're
get
either
what
going to
you
ignore
yeah,
you
you get back
because
what you put out.
exactly.
Mhm.
Now,
Oh,
speaking
yeah.
about skeptics and whatnot, well, I'm going to try to cover this lady's face a little bit, but that's kind of hard to explain. Do you see behind her there? Do you see that
That
shadow?
person is in the gate.
Yes, and there it
That
looks like their
person can't be
bodies.
in the gate.
Their body's on one side, and the head looks like it goes on the other.
Yeah.
And before you go, it's not a shadow. Notice lights coming through it. Light don't come through shadows.
Right.
And being it was a guess, we did have it looked at by people who specialize in photography,
Sure.
and they said this was not photoshopped; that this was actually legit. And they told us how to kind of look for that is they said if you actually blow it up, if I can't do
Mhm.
that, well, maybe I can. What? Sorry. There we
Okay.
go. Kind of blow it up, and you look at the top of her hat, you can see that there's lint coming off her hat. Where if this was photoshopped, the lint wouldn't be there with the thing behind her. And so
Wow.
we show our skeptics things like this, and of course they'll think it's fake. But I'm glad people are showing us, hey, these are things you can point out to show if it was Photoshop, these things couldn't be true. And I mean, it's just things like this that we get constantly on our tours.
Mhm.
That it's just the fact that I don't see how people can really be skeptical if you give them enough information and enough evidence.
Yeah.
I mean, without just turning away from it and going, I refuse to do it, which
Mhm.
we know in our today's climate, people go, oh no, I just refuse to believe that at all. But
Sure.
what I love is when we have family members that come on with us and they're into it and they have a partner or a spouse that's not into it, not into the spirit world, and they're trying to give them the rods. I'm like, look at these, try these. And they're like, and they're like, why you don't believe in it? Why aren't you touching them? They're like, that makes me laugh.
yeah,
Mhm.
But I do have to tell you one time, this happened recently, and I was really happy. One of our guests, because at the end, I always offer anybody if they want to try and communicate with a loved one. I'm not a
Right.
psychic nor am I a medium, but I can give them the tools and walk them through it. But we had a lady that wanted to talk with her deceased cat.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I have never done that.
Yeah.
She asked if the rods would work.
I didn't even know if it was possible.
I didn't even know.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
we
Oh, I
can
know.
try it. So I told her how I do it with the human world.
Huh?
And she could do it with the cat. And Mike gave her a cat ball. And her and her husband sat down. And the rods moved. The cat ball moved for her.
Yeah, the cat ball continually kept going off.
She
And
was so happy.
yeah.
So in tears. I was like, oh.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
stuff like that.
People say that animals can't love. Yes, they do.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do.
They
And,
can
you know,
love.
and
Oh yeah.
some of the animals I've lost over the decades, and my husband and ones we've had together, we still see them here from time to time. It's a glimpse out of the corner of your eye.
Mhm.
Right.
Some people say it's a trick of the light. Well, no, seeing a tabby cat playing with a toy hedgehog is not thing of the trick of the light or anything. But
No.
I can't say that I blame people for thinking that everything is demonic, because that's all they've been taught.
Right.
Right.
Again, I used to think that myself. So
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. I felt the same way about all the cryptids that are out there. I just thought it was all hooey. And then I got into this podcasting thing, and met some very fine people who do that all the time, and the two gentlemen I mentioned earlier, George Lunsford and Michael Webb, they're two of the best researchers I know, and honest to a fault,
Mhm.
and they'll tell you straight up if something is okay or if it's not okay, and it's taken me a while, but I was like, Okay, I can see that. That makes sense. This makes sense. Why would I not believe in that? But I'm going to believe in my stuff.
Right.
So,
Right.
Well, just like, I
yeah.
mean, aliens. I mean, we'd be foolhardy to think that there's not other living beings in this vast universe that we're in, and that's all, now to me though, that's not paranormal, because I just think it is something that is just complete
Well,
natural science for me on
But
that
that's
sense.
paranormal is real. It
Yeah.
literally translates to out of the ordinary, or out
Okay.
of the normal realm. So,
Yeah.
Well, now when
it
it
could be
comes to,
anything.
it wasn't until recently that people started explaining to me. I always thought cryptids were just maybe some animal that we're yet to discover, because we discover new animals in the Amazon,
Sure.
10,000 a day. But then it started being explained that a lot of these are actually supernatural in their things, like
Hmm.
Mothman, and that's where, and they started, it's like, oh, okay, I can see where that fits more into a paranormal category now. Because at
Oh
first it's like,
yeah,
oh, Bigfoot's just something we hadn't caught yet. That's all. But
yeah.
then
No, I thought
they
the
started
same
explaining
way.
there's a little more to it than that.
Hmm. When I went down to Land Between the Lakes to participate in a documentary,
Mhm.
which I talk about briefly in the acknowledgement section of the
Okay.
book, so it's all the way at the end. They did the God helmet on me, which is just like this little hat, and they
Mhm.
put electrodes there. No worse than like your magnets on your refrigerator,
Right.
and it's supposed to like get everything
Get
awake
up.
and moving and all that stuff. And then they did the Estes method, which is, again, you're blindfolded and all you hear is white noise. And if you hear something, you say it. So the first one, I was sitting out in this field all by myself with a bunch of cameras and, microphones and stuff around, lights. And it was like a football field away. I remember looking down and seeing what I thought was a shadow figure, because that's my background. I was like, oh, it's a shadow person. Well, when I tell you the thing went from here to here in a millisecond and was right up in my face. And I have since been told I was bum rushed by what could have been a Bigfoot, an alpha Bigfoot, to see, since I was the most open there, was I a threat? And my husband said, we thought you were doing like your own Stevie Nicks thing, because I'm down there doing like this, trying to shoot it away. And I said, I thought it was a cryptid or something. I probably wouldn't have been batting at it. But, I've seen a lot of things now over the past year and a half that I never thought I would see, so.
Do you think when you did the God helmet, I know you told me before you had to
Mm.
kind of go home and reset yourself and relax.
Oh, yeah.
Did you think that it opened you up even wider?
At
That
times,
experience?
at times, but I don't think it was anything permanent, because
Okay.
I feel like my old self now, where before I was like, everything was so fresh and raw and it was ridiculous. But it's to get your left hemisphere and your right hemisphere working together,
Hmm.
and boy, I also went down to, this is me. We went down on October 30th and 31st. So we were down during my Samhain, your Halloween, on a full moon in a place that's known for paranormal activity. So I had a trifecta. I don't
Oh,
think
wow.
we could have planned that. We didn't plan it that way, but that's just how it all happened. So, and if I
Yeah.
don't tell you, Ty, there is a lady here named Trini.
Hmm.
Okay. And she just, Trini or Minnie? Trini. Your grandma?
Hmm.
Oh, she wants you to know.
May I record this?
It's being
Yeah.
recorded, baby.
Oh, it is being recorded.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm going,
Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
TV and on the phone here.
Okay. She's saying that to let you know that she did get her personal concert from something Fernandez. So Vincentetti.
Vicente Fernandez?
Yeah. Yeah. She got her personal concert, and you know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a beautiful thing. Vicente Fernandez was my grandma's favorite ranchero singer,
Okay.
a Mexican singer. I'll send you a couple of his songs. And I mean, she would get the flusters with him, like she thought he was, something hot and
Muy
handsome.
caliente.
Yeah, she loved his concerts, but she always told me when she would passed away, he was going to do a private concert just for her.
Okay, well,
And I used
she
to
got
call
it.
her. I used to tell her, okay, you dirty bird, because she lusted after him, so she got a private concert.
Now, with her are two gentlemen,
Mhm.
Tom and Jay. They're uncles, cousins.
Tom and Jerry, or
Tom and Jay. I thought it was Jay. Maybe Jerry. Sometimes it's hard to determine exactly
No,
what.
no, Tom. Okay, go on, but you can go on.
Yeah, but yeah.
No. The one that I think is Tom says he likes your longer hair now much better than the short strawberry blonde hair.
Haha, thank you, Uncle.
So, but that's just basically they send their love and all that more fuzzy stuff. But I never know if it's going to make sense. I don't know how it works. I just, like I was saying to you guys before we started the show, I just usually do some meditation the day before and the morning of the show, that if somebody wants to come across and say something, do it. This is the time to do it. And then afterwards you have to leave, because I've had a couple who want to hang around for a while. Not your people. Your people, they're fine.
Oh yeah. You're not going to tell them what to do. Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me, and the other person be like, how'd you know that? I don't know. I'm just telling you what I hear and what I'm seeing.
Because Tom and Jerry were my dad's brothers. My Uncle Tom was the oldest, and Jerry was the second oldest.
Okay.
I was really close with all my uncles, but Tom and Jerry I was really close with. Jerry was my godfather.
Okay.
And Tom was the oldest out of the boys. And my Uncle Tom always was kind of blunt and to the point. There was no like circling around stuff. But you said Jay, and my first husband's name was Jason. And he passed away they were all part of me, So when you said Jay, I wasn't sure if you were talking about Jason or Jerry.
Well, did your uncle, if it's your uncle, he was a big Broncos fan? Or was
Jay, my late husband, was a huge Broncos fan.
Oh, okay. Then this is an uncle and your late it's sorry, Mike, I didn't plan this.
Oh no, it's perfect. No, it's perfectly fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's
what else? You have anything else?
Jason, his baby sister misses him.
He heard. And I just get a lot of love coming from them, and a lot of you're on the right path. Good. Do it. Go leap for it, whatever that's supposed to mean to you. So
I love that Uncle Tom. I mean, I love Grandma, and then Jason came through too. Yeah. But Uncle Tom, I gotta tell you a story. Okay, when Jason was alive and Uncle Tom was alive, Uncle Tom was a cobbler, so he fixed shoes, right?
Okay.
And because I have cerebral palsy, and I used to have, walking issues, he always used to get mad at me if I wore cheap shoes or like flip-flops or anything. So I always used to have a pair of shoes, tennis shoes, appropriate Uncle Tom shoes in the car. Right. Well, we drove one time to Denver, and we went to the shop. Well, I forgot to put my shoes on, and we went inside the shoe shop, and my uncle literally took my flip-flop off my feet, cut the straps off of them, and then poured cement glue on top of them, and told me, you can either go pick some shoes that nobody picked up, the tennies over there or something like that, or you can walk around barefooted, because barefoot's better than cheap shoes. So luckily I had to go out to the car and get my regular tennis shoes. But that's how blunt this man was. I mean, he was very
because I was thinking that's like a little much, isn't it?
No, but that's how he was always. He was just to the point, but very loving. He was that type of person, you tell him good morning in the morning, and you say, what's good about it? You're alive? Next. That would be his type of thing. So, I mean.
Oh, that's awesome. They're not here anymore, but, and I guess so they got their point across. So, that's I'm just fascinated by it, because I never know. I feel like sometimes, and no harm to anybody has Tourette's, but sometimes it's like feeling like you have it, because you just blurt these things out that
Mhm.
to me make no sense whatsoever. And you're hoping that you don't sound like a dang fool. But
Well,
No.
I've
I,
learned
I
unless I got
I
this
have this
book.
great book right here, but since we're on this subject, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on some things that I was reading here. You were giving definitions, and I really love that. I thought that was awesome. Oh
Okay.
Lord, let me find it now. Had to be towards the front because that's where I was at.
I'm going to ask Miss
Yeah,
Tracy
yeah,
a question,
absolutely.
won't you? So I'm going to ask you a personal question. I don't know if you've ever happened in your life, but at one point in time in your life, did your gifts, like dull, go away for a while, dull down?
Um, Not really, because I was
Okay.
brought up with it.
Okay.
My mother adored her grandmother. And the only time if I would say it dulled down was when I was getting ready to go to school. Mom would talk to me and she said, "Look, I know what you see and you feel it. It's all real, but let's not go to school and talk about these things because
Okay.
people won't understand. And you're too young to understand while I'm asking you this." So, I mean, maybe it dimmed a little bit, but I can't, it's always been there.
Okay. Because I lost mine after Jason passed away. Like it was weird. It was the first time in my life that I had ever felt alone and silent. And it did that like my whole grieving time.
Hmm.
And then when I met Michael, I mean, it started slowly coming up, but slowly, you know what I mean? I would see stuff, I would smell stuff, I would taste stuff.
Hmm.
My phone would text stuff like
Hmm.
out of nowhere, just start texting. But when I got with him, that's when it started all flooding back.
Yeah, as soon as we were married, um, I mean, we had a demonic presence as soon as we were married.
Okay.
I am a former pastor, and I didn't lose my faith. I was just very angry with God. I didn't want no
Okay.
part of God. I just, I turned my back on God. I didn't lose my faith.
Okay.
I just didn't have no business with any God, right?
Okay.
And Ty's always been a good Catholic girl, and so when we got married, things did not want us to be married.
Okay.
And so things started happening. I mean, like when I usually see these things, like you watch these movies based on true stories, you go, oh well, they just beefed that up a little bit to make it a little better or whatnot. But after experiencing what we do, and it's like, no, that stuff really happens. I
Yeah.
mean, like, just unbelievable. Just
Yeah.
no other way it could be, but this is supernatural. It's going on right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And so we experienced a lot of things in that manner, to the point where we finally, I was put in a situation where I either had to end my own life or turn back to God. That
Okay.
was my two choices.
Well, you
And so I
chose
turned,
wisely.
right,
Mm-hmm.
turned back to God, and then we fought the demon, and
Okay.
we got it away from us. It's
Okay.
been pushed away from us. And for those out there who's wondering, oh yeah, the movie stuff and everything, everybody loves to see the big battle with the demon and all that, but what they leave out in these things is the spiritual life you must lead after that point, or else it's
Yeah.
just going to come back with buddies.
For us.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Well,
not for
Yeah.
our belief system,
Yeah.
and even Jesus said, you can cast out a demon, but if you don't clean up your own house, he's going to come back with seven of his
Yeah.
friends.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's going to be worse than it was before.
I tell people it's like if you lose a lot of weight, you can't just go back to eating whatever you want. You have to maintain.
Right,
So it's
Right.
exactly. I
yeah,
love
it's the
that.
same
I like
thing.
that. And
Yeah.
so with all that, during that time, and that's kind of getting where I want to ask you in the book here too.
Okay.
That with Ty and whatnot, I was wondering what you would define some of her abilities as we're just defining it here. And I wanted to ask the question about, I've lost it now. Well, you know it. I want to know the difference between, yeah, there it is, a clear empathy and being being an empath. Well, is there a
Tomato,
big, the same
tomato,
thing? Just
tomato,
same.
tomato.
Okay, okay.
One sounds floofier than the other.
Okay, fair enough. And then this clairaudience. What am I saying it right? Clairaudience?
Yeah.
How do you say?
Hearing, audio.
Okay,
When you hear
so
stuff. Now, some
now,
people can be everything all rolled into one, or they can be this for a while and then that for a while. And,
It's
you
for me.
don't have to be just one thing. Some people are,
right.
To me,
but there's a lot.
for me, it depends on the spirit, I guess. Because I'll get some
Yes.
spirits that will give me smells, some will give me
Hmm.
taste, some will give me noises, and some will just show me
Yeah.
that, even
Yeah.
though sometimes physically, but a lot of times just in my third eye, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
just in my vision.
Yeah.
But it depends
Perfectly
on the
normal.
spirits. And that's what I've had to explain to some people. I don't know how to explain it to people. I really don't know how to explain it to people, Tracy, but like I dream about grandma, and I've dreamed about Uncle Tom, and I've dreamed about Jason. And I've talked to grandma with the rods and spent time with her outside, because I don't do anything inside the house. But Uncle Tom came to me once,
Mm-hmm.
and that was right after he passed away for his daughters. He asked me to be with them, make sure that they're okay. But the other ones, I have never been able to communicate them like I can communicate with other spirits.
With the
And
dowsing rods?
not just with the dowsing rods, just even just sitting down. I can't taste them. I can't smell them. I feel like they're around me, but I can't do what I can with other spirits. And for me, I also just think that's because they're my kin, they're my blood, and it might be something like, I don't want to say too traumatizing for me, but I may want to call on them more often.
They could be protecting you.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
You know, 'cause,
I don't know what their religious beliefs are, but maybe they think that that would be overwhelming. You don't know. There aren't any hard, even though I wrote a book, there aren't any hard and fast rules.
okay.
You know,
No, I'm
with
just,
this.
because I
Yeah.
was always taught, like I said, from my grandparents, because they had some of these gifts too, that, and I don't know if it's right, but if you keep on calling people spirits, keep on calling them, especially when you have a connection with them, sometimes you can trap them, get them stuck back here when they can go back and forth.
Mhm.
Because now like Mike said, now they have built a bond, not a
Right.
bond, but
A connection,
a connection, like,
a tether.
yeah, like they're scared now. If they leave you, it's going to traumatize you again, or you know what I mean? So they get kind of
No, I get
stuck.
it. I get that.
So I wonder if that's why I've never with my grandmother, because that's what she's always taught me. So
Now,
I
you
wonder
said
if
you
that's,
have dreams about her.
yeah,
Have they felt realistic?
yeah, but they're usually like, I feel like they're kind of like not really like deja vu, but it's the same setting we've always had. Like it's
Oh,
never
that's not a
new.
setting. That's you visiting with her.
Okay,
That's
okay,
that's one of the main ways that they visit. People say, "Well, I had this dream about so and so, and it was so I could smell things, I could feel things, I could whatever." That's how they communicate, you
okay,
know. So, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a different place every time. Maybe she's picking one place because maybe it had some kind of meaning for her or meaning for you or the both of you, or she just thinks it's cool or pretty or whatever, but they will get their point across.
just her kitchen table and her cigarettes and coffee. That
There
was
you go.
that was
There
her.
you go.
I would like to ask you another question, if I may.
Yes.
We turned the interview around.
Yes, we did. So I've had a repeated dream, and I've asked a couple people about this, and nobody's ever given me an answer.
Okay.
So I start off in a car, and there's two people in front of me and two people on the side of me. They're all speaking Spanish. Don't understand what they're saying, but I can kind of turn my head. I can't see who's sitting by me, but I can turn my head, and it looks like country roads. I can see cows and
Mhm.
pastures and wheat, grains and all that. And then it flashes, and I'm in a dirt road, like on somebody's property, and my door opens, and I step out, and it flashes, and then I'm in a kitchen and a dining room table. I can hear people in the other room talking. There's a little gentleman sitting across from me. He has a hat on, his head's down, and then he just looks up at me and smiles, and I wake up. I've had this dream since I can remember, and it has never gone away.
That's a past life slipping in, a memory, an
Okay.
old memory.
Okay.
That's all it is.
I've always wondered, because he just lifts his head and just smiles, and I
Hey,
wake up.
how you doing? You know,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
Well,
I
since
mean
we're on a
that.
roll,
Yeah.
I've had a recurring dream most of my life. Mine's a little weirder. Um, I'm outside in a neighborhood, and I see like these children running around a house. I go into this house, and I know in
Mhm.
one direction I can see there's a spiral staircase that literally goes all the way up into the sky. And
Mhm.
then, but before I'm allowed to go to that staircase, I have to walk through this house, and it's like a maze of rooms. It's like
Okay.
one room after another. And the more I go into these rooms, the more I feel this evil presence. Until I get closer and closer, try to get to the door that I know that evil presence on the other side of.
Okay.
Sometimes I go into that room. Sometimes I don't. When I do, it's very frightening. But once I do that, I'm able to leave and then start walking up that stairway. And as soon as I start walking up that stairway, I wake up. And this has been a reoccurring dream most of my life.
that's facing your fears
Hmm.
is what it is. Because you know you got to do something, and you know something new is always something scary, and it's just right around the corner, right? And then
Okay.
you do it, and you're like, oh, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought. So
No, it must
that's
dream I'm terrified when I go in there.
oh
But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But you can. I can't explain how to do it, but you can make your dreams go the way you want them to. But it takes a lot of meditation
Mm.
and a lot of like you can interrupt them. I did this about 2 weeks ago, and I remember thinking, I can touch this. I'm having a dream. I know I'm having a dream. I can smell this and that and the other thing. And okay, I know I'm fine. I'm a dream. It's like the first time I ever knew that I was dreaming. I was dreaming.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Okay.
but
Okay.
they sometimes they have this dreams have this big, fancy schmancy, poofy meaning behind them, and sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. But in your two cases, the first thing that came to my mind was a past life slip, and not that anybody's trying to tell you anything. It was just like a little glance, a
Okay.
little memory, and I would say, yeah, facing your fear.
Okay.
One of a dear lady that I know was having bad nightmares, and she said she kept seeing this guy, and he was pointing a gun at her, and she was terrified, but she stood there. I said, "Yeah, you need to stand your ground and make a decision. That's called facing your fear. So it can be different things too.
Sure.
But
Okay.
that's what comes to my mind at the
Okay.
very start.
So open up the door and walk through.
No, I have a few times. I didn't like it.
Okay. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. Or maybe when you're coming up to having to make some kind of decision, that's when ooh, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? And then that builds, and it's got to release somehow. So it releases in your sleep.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
She's so smart.
Yeah.
Thank you, smart. Yeah, I didn't. So far, knock on wood, I haven't messed up anything.
We keep her.
We are, however, at the top of the hour, so I want you guys to talk about yourself. Yeah,
Okay.
talk about yourself. Talk about your company, all of it.
Oh yeah, I know we talked about a lot of things, but we're Spirit Xperience LLC. There's our link tree. If you scan that should send you to our social media sites. So here's some more information right there.
Cool.
And just pause the video and take a picture. It'll last longer. There we go. But we're Spirit Xperience LLC here in Savannah, Georgia. As you heard about our tours, the main thing is we love what we do.
Yes.
We just absolutely love it. We love sharing the paranormal with others. We like showing them that, the paranormal is normal. And that it's nothing to be afraid of. It's something it's a beautiful experience.
Needs to be respected.
Yes, if you go about respect and love, then it's an amazing experience. And we're just so glad that we've been blessed to be able to do what we're doing, to show people this. It's for us, it's exciting. You know what I say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? And so it's for us, it's not a job. Our guests are not just dollar signs. Yeah, we need money to eat and live, so we have to charge something. But at the same time, our guests are somebody we want to share these things with, and hopefully they'll either come to if they're skeptic, maybe they'll start to believe a little bit, be open, yeah. Or if they're a believer, hopefully we help them strengthen that belief, and hopefully we've shown them a way to communicate with spirits in a loving and safe manner.
Yeah, not like the Zach Bagans way.
Oh no.
And the other thing I want to just say is our groups are very small, so it's more of an intimate setting. Pretty much, it's your night. It's not our night, and we're always there for them. Whether it's a paranormal thing that's going on, they just need somebody to talk to. If they want advice on where to stay, where to eat in Savannah, we're here. If their loved ones have any issues, or people at work that they know have any issues in businesses, we do investigations. We talk to them of what they want out of this investigation. Do they want to know if the spirits are okay to mingle and live with? Do they want to remove the spirits? And how do we remove them? And how do you keep them removed? We discuss all that with them.
And of course, we don't go about this and say, oh, we know everything there is to know about all this. Of course, we do not. But we're a member of a paranormal team here in Savannah. Of course, we're members of people worldwide, that into paranormal with people such as you.
Mhm.
And so if you want to get in touch with us or get in touch with you, if we don't know the answer
We'll find
between
it.
all of us, we can find somebody who probably
Yeah.
knows the answer to your question.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do
And
want to state our investigations, private investigations, and business
All free.
investigations are all free.
Yes.
okay, good.
Yeah.
We
That was my
never
next
charge
question.
for that.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody wants to charge you for something that's not like your tour or my book, the
Yeah.
things that have to have some money behind
Sure.
them. But for the actual service, no,
No,
Mm-mm.
no.
can't do that. That's to me, that's a big sign of a fraud. And
Yeah.
Exactly.
anybody that says I'm an expert in such and such, you just
Yeah.
turn yourself around and walk,
Exactly.
because to the day you die, you're going to learn things.
That's right.
And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
always going to be something like, I didn't think about that. Okay, all right, I learned
Well,
something new.
5 years ago, I knew paranormal activity was angelic or demonic. I just knew that. I
Yeah.
know way different today. And 5 years from now, I'll probably think something completely different than I think from today. So it's
There you
a
go.
learning process.
And even the spirits we come into contact with, they teach us something pretty much
Oh,
every
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. And look, we did it. I'm not
Yay.
done the show yet, but we did it. I'm going to put you in the green room,
Okay.
and I'm going to do my little bit and finish out and hopefully hit all the right buttons and
All
have
right.
100%. So let's
Thank you.
do
Thank you.
this.
Love you.
You're welcome. Okay. Be right there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yay, we did it. I wanted to say that if you have questions, if you have concerns, please feel free to talk to me. I won't judge you. I won't laugh at you. None of that stuff. Don't take that as a challenge, Joe, and send me something. You know what I mean? Anyway, tonight's Did You Know? Did you know why witches are painted with green? It was because of the great, glorious Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch of the West. Now, they wanted to make her just as ooky looking as possible. So they put the green paint on her. And ever since then, women and men witches have been depicted with green skin. Now, for you older folks like me, you might remember Miss Margaret Hamilton as Otis's wife from the Andy Griffith Show. She was in that, and she was also in a couple of episodes of The Addams Family, the original. So now with all that, now you know. Go on to Amazon, buy my book, Witchcraft by Blood and Tradition, A Beginner's Guide. Buy George's Lunsford's books. Buy Michael Webb's books. He's got a really cute little kid's book out there too. So just go on, buy everything. Get 3 for 1. So, and I will see you next time. And I'm going to see if we can do this right.
There are signals all around us. Most of them go unnoticed. Some are born able to sense them, born with the veil still present. A mark said to thin the boundary between worlds. For a white witch, the boundary never fully closes. It becomes something you can see through, something you can feel. Respond not to fear the unknown, but to understand it, to listen when it reaches back beyond the veil with Tracey.